Welcome back everyone, it's Robert Hall, and in today's video we're going to talk about the updates made to the production model of the AKR1 kit. My channel is sponsored by Adorama, which buys me the time to create videos without the influence of any particular camera brand. I personally shop at Adorama for their great deals on a really wide variety of products, as well as support of those products down the road. So if there's anything in this video that you end up being interested in and you're thinking about buying it, then please support Adorama by using the links in the description below. So if you don't know, the AKR1 is the set of proprietary modifiers for the round head H200R for the AD200 or Evolve 200. Now normally when I get a sample ahead of time to check it out, not much changes by the time it actually comes out. But in this instance, there was a lot of minor tweaks and changes to the kit and things that I didn't even have at all. So I wanted to get you guys up to speed on what to expect out of the production kit of the AKR1 accessories. So one thing I didn't have when I got my sample of the AKR1 kit was a case. And thankfully the production model does include a nice case that keeps all of this really well organized, because there are a lot of pieces here and you don't want that stuff just randomly floating around your bag. So it's nice for it to all be in this semi-hard shelled case that keeps it really well contained. I will say, once you open this thing up, you do have to be really well organized about putting it back, otherwise it can be difficult to close. So you have to make sure, maybe take a picture of it the first time you open it, just so you know how to put everything back away. This case doesn't take up a significant amount of space, so it's a nice way to keep it all organized inside of your flash bag. So I've got the old kit back here and I want to show you guys the differences between each of the pieces. So the first big change would be that of the dome. The dome has been updated so that it no longer has a ring. This is the sample unit that I got, and this is the production unit, so the one that you would get if you bought it. And if I flip them, you can see this one has the black ring like everything else, whereas this one, the magnets are put right in the actual plastic of the dome, which is good because on my sample, one time I dropped it and now this ring easily pops off. So I like that they made that change, and I don't have to worry about, if I ever drop this, it turning into a couple pieces on the floor and hoping to be able to find this ring again just to make it work. Now the next change comes with the bounce card. And the bounce card didn't change too much in terms of shape. The shape of the card is the same. There's still a flag, so you can flip the side and change it to be black if you want to reduce light instead of bounce light. The only change, this is the new one, is that this one now tilts. Which, the biggest benefit here is that in order to stack it away, that's it. Boom. Now you can collapse it and quickly tuck it away, whereas this one you actually had to flick this out, separate them into two pieces. A very minor change, but that tilt not only gives you an additional level of control with your flash, but also allows it to pack away a little bit quicker. Now we're talking about the original kit. Here on the original kit, you could put the bounce either above or below. Either way, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. In fact, you're probably losing a little bit light this way, but on the new one, you're not going to be able to do that. Now this is the new one. The new one is only going to go on top. There's not going to be any way, these magnets are strong. There's not going to be any way to tuck this on top. So this is now your only option, which honestly looks a lot better. And it's nice because you still have some tilt control. Also, the new dome is a little bit more diffused. I don't know if you can tell from here, but holding it, I can clearly tell this is a little bit heavier diffusion, so expect a little bit more diffused light out of it. So for the grids and the gels, they still function the exact same way, so if you want to see more about that, just check out my original video. But one nice thing I did find is that the gels do have slightly less tint. They're still not perfect, but they have slightly less tint than the samples that I received, so you can expect a little bit cleaner white balance than what I initially reported. That brings us to the snoot. The snoot is probably the thing that I was hoping would be modified the most. You guys saw in my initial test that I just didn't think that this hole was small enough, and I didn't think it was long enough to give you a very restrictive light pattern. I would have hoped for a much tinier hole. Please don't turn that into a meme. I would have expected with the update that they would have made this a little bit smaller, but they didn't. The problem that I see with that is when this is on its smallest setting, it's not much more narrow than the grid, so there's not a significant difference that this provides. And if you want to more narrow pattern, then you're better off stacking multiple grids or putting this on top of the grid. I would have rather just seen smaller hole to begin with, but they left it the same. However, they did change the material a little bit. It just feels a little bit more stiff. Please don't turn that into a meme either. It's a little bit more rigid of a material. I'm giving them the same amount of pressure right now, and this one just kind of collapses, whereas this one handles it a little bit better. So it's just gonna hold its shape a little bit better and probably last a lot longer. Next up, we got the wide angle diffuser. You would use this if you want to maximize the spread of your light. You could use this in conjunction with the dome to get the maximum amount of spread. All they did here was it's a finer texture. I'll let you guys see it. All they did here was it's a finer texture, a little bit smaller of a texture on the new model, whereas the old one was like more raised, but effectively no light difference. They just scatter the light in a wider pattern, which is great for use if you're using with a wide angle lens or trying to bounce into the maximum area. Lastly, we have the barn doors, which I have nothing to compare to because they were not included in the initial sample that I received, but these are actually pretty nice barn doors for the kit. They're really sturdy. Everything feels really flexible, yet not too flimsy to where if you just shake it, they're gonna lose their place. So I really like kind of the balance that they achieved with it. And I really like how the barn doors come together rather than just a square. So rather than just having 4 of the same sized doors to the barn doors, these being the rectangles that they are, work really well to kind of create some unique light shapes that you can use to mask off where your light is hitting, which I think is gonna be best for backgrounds. I'm actually most curious to put this inside of a softbox and kind of flag off how it's hitting some walls of the softbox to change the shape of it. So I'll probably make a future video where I'm messing around with that. The barn doors also collapse down really efficiently, so they don't take a lot of space inside of the kit. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't really carry barn doors because I don't use it much, but as small as these are, they're not too bad to keep around. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at the production model of the AKR1 kit. Linked in the description below if you're interested in purchasing one. Remember, the plan is for these to all work with the round head speed light that is expected to release sometime this spring, hopefully by March, but we'll see. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment below, and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Until next time, keep on shooting.